Hello everybody, my name is Aquatic and I'm here to talk about another topic I find interesting. And this video, it might be a long one, so hey, just strap in. And today I'm going to be talking about the worst part of every update, starting from all the way from 1.9 to the newest version. Oh wait, what's the oldest update? Not 1.9. Oh yeah, 1.0. Also, shout out to these 3 people right here for commenting on my last video. By the way, I will not be including stuff like 1.16.5 or anything like that that's separate. For example, like if in the 1.16 category, I'll be including stuff from 1.16 all the way to 1.16.5. But anyways, let's get into the video, starting with the first official update for Minecraft, which is Minecraft 1.0, the Adventure Update, released on 18th of November. This update was mainly focused on, combat, adventuring, as the name says. It has stuff like Enderman, Silverfish, and cave spawners or spiders, I forgot. But there are a ton of other stuff that I'm not gonna say, because if I want to say all the minor stuff, this video is gonna be like 3 hours long, and we all know you don't want to watch that. I don't want to edit all that. Anyways, I'm gonna be talking about the worst part of this update, which I'm gonna have to say is Silverfish. Silverfish are probably one of my least favorite mobs in the game, simply because of how annoying they are. They take damage, and they can cause more silverfish to spawn from the blocks that are nearby that can be infested. So, for instance, if you hit a silverfish and you're near some stone bricks, the stone bricks will spawn a silverfish and break. And, basically, I hate that. That's why I hate strongholds so much. When I find the spawner or the end gateway or whatever, I instantly break the spawner because I don't want to see any silverfish. Anyways, let's get into the next version, which is 1.1, the spawn egg update, which, as you think, it had spawn eggs. It didn't really add much, but if there's one thing that annoys me the most, it made it so that when arrows go through, lava and get set on fire, or any arrow that's on fire, it will set you on fire or whatever it hits on fire. This can be easily avoided if you have a water bucket on you, but if you're in the Nether, it's going to get really annoying. And for the next update, the Faithful Update 1.2, yeah, I know the only thing that they really added was like structures, but they added these desert wells, which literally had no uses for 10 years, or maybe even more than 10 years, until they added archaeology. Now, I'm pretty sure you guys don't really care about some of these earlier versions, so I'm just going to speed run them until I get to something like 1.9. So, 1.3, there's really nothing you can't hate. 1.4, skeletons can spawn with armor now, and if you guys saw my last video, you guys should know how much I hate skeletons. In 1.5, they changed how skeletons shot arrows. In 1.6, you can no longer break blocks with the sword in creative. In 1.7, they decreased the durability of swords. In 1.8, they changed the old blocking animation, so that's why so many clients have 1.7 animation mod. Or there's even mods for it in general. So if you head over to Bad Lion client, Lunar client, and go on their older versions, if there's like animations, there's probably going to be a 1.7 animations mod somewhere in there, or maybe some type of toggle, but they will most likely be there, because the blocking animation, go on 1.8, spam the left and right click button at the same time, and then go on 1.7 and do it. You can tell which one looks better. Now let's get into one of the most controversial updates, 1.9. A lot of people don't like 1.9 because of the new combat mechanics and stuff, but I feel like it adds more substance to the game, especially when it comes to player versus entity combat. But hey, I could be wrong. But if I had to say what is the worst part about this update, it's probably that they added mending. And you guys are saying, mending? It's the best enchant in the game. You don't have to worry about your tools breaking. That's the thing. Once you get all like the tools you need, you don't really mine anymore, because you don't have to worry about your tools breaking. Like, unbreaking, yeah, I'm cool with that. But I want to see like more features where instead of just, you don't need to do this anymore, you want to make it so that, like, the anvil, for instance, you can repair it in the anvil. That's always cool, so you always have to go mining. But, what can I say? I'm probably stupid. If you think so, comment down below. in 1.10, they added this stupid auto jump feature. So whenever I make a new Minecraft installation or whenever I play a mod pack, I have to turn it off because it's all the way on default. Like if I install a new thing called RL Craft or all the mods, I'm gonna have to turn it off every single time. The settings, and don't forget, whenever you install a new one, this dumb music gets blasted into your ear at 10,000 volume. Doom, 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 doom. Hey, I might be getting a little angry for no reason. Now let's talk about 1.11, which not many people play 1.11, which I understand why. Nothing really got added. But they added the Nitwit profession to the game. So if you don't know what that profession does, it basically makes villagers that have the green robes, so I know you've seen them a lot, it makes them untradeable. And a lot of people don't like these guys. Some people even install mods to make it so you can trade with these guys, or just make so that these guys don't spawn. And now for the next one, we're going to talk about 1.12. And 1.12, I like this version a lot because I play a lot of mod packs, and I'm going to have to say the worst part about this update is definitely narrator. And if you don't know what narrator is, then let's say, well, the default thing is to hold down control and press B. That's how you turn on narrator. And if you're in a public server, this is going to be really annoying because people spamming chat, especially big servers. If people are saying messages a bunch at a time, or maybe, you get an achievement or whatever, like you get this dumb voice in your head. Well, not voice in your head, but this dumb voice saying, blah, 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 got an achievement. And if you're a new player, if you don't know how you turned it on, then you could accidentally you can't turn it off if you don't know where to go. Because for some reason, it seems like it's hidden. And if you don't know how to turn it off, then it gets real annoying real fast. Now, let's talk about 1.13, the Aquatic update, released on July 18th, 2018. This is probably one of my least favorite versions simply because of how dry it feels, Ironic, huh? And I think that the worst part of this update would have to be strip logs. Not the fact that you can strip logs or, any of that. But if you've built or, use a shield a lot, you can accidentally, right click whenever you're trying to hit someone with the axe and hold up your shield, and boom, you strip the log. But I feel like there's a lot of lost potential. So they could have done something like with the stone cutter and made it so that you could put logs in there and strip them. And you can do that with like other wood types too, and make like one slab, one stair. Something like that, just like how the stone cutter works. Speaking of stone cutter, this is the version where stone cutter was added, 1.14. The village and pillage update, which added trading and villagers. Well, not villagers, but they just revamped the trading. But my least favorite part about this update is definitely how you don't even need to mine for most of your stuff anymore. Like you go on most like later version servers, and you see that, some people, they go mining for their first little set. But then as soon as they get a village, they instantly just get a bunch of sticks and just trade for everything. You don't really even need to get stuff. And the thing is, a lot of people, for some reason, are sleeping on this. But if you make an iron farm, that's infinite iron. And blacksmiths and weaponsmiths can give you, also armor smiths, I'm pretty sure. They can all give you 1 emerald for every 4 iron. And if you, zombify it in a ton, you can get 1 emerald for 1 iron ingot. That means you basically have infinite iron. But I just feel like this thing, it gets fixed later on, but I just think that it's just so annoying that whenever you log onto a new server, it's just people doing the same thing. Now, it's 1.15, the Buzzy Bee update, I'm pretty sure. And you can't really dislike a lot of stuff in this update simply because, yes, it added bees, but you can just always ignore them, and it always adds ambience to the game. But it's mainly a bug fix update, buzzy bees, bugs. I think it was a funny little thing they did. But now, probably my favorite version to release ever, 1.16. This is probably one of my favorite updates. The Nether has been bland for so long, and now it finally has some form of content. Like, the worst part about this update for me, though, would definitely be piglin boots. These mobs are not like normal piglins, so these guys are always hostile, and if you're in the bastion and you're wearing gold, you can't even hit these guys, or else the other piglins will get mad at you. These guys do so much damage for their health pool. Like, their health pool is extremely large for the amount of damage they do. I'm pretty sure they have like 20 hearts or something like that. So the only real way you can kill them is putting them in lava. And the thing is, it's not even like these guys give good loot. They don't even drop like any gold. When you kill them, I think they can only drop like an axe if you're lucky. But that's the least favorite part about 1.16. Now, for 1.17, copper. That's literally it. So now for 1.18, Caves and Cliffs Part 2. I feel like this update didn't really add anything that I dislike, since instead of its own update, I feel like it's more of an extension to 1.17. But now, we're going to have to go over to the 1.19 Wild update. You know, it added one of my favorite things to the game, Ancient Cities and the Warden and all that. But I think the worst part about this update is the frog lights. Not the frog lights themselves, but the lack of differentiation in them. I think I pronounced that right. I feel like they could have had so much potential. For instance, like blue frog lights or red ones. You know, these ones would have been so cool, and adding different color light sources in the game. These guys are good because you don't really have to use sea lanterns for, you know, blue builds or green builds. You can use the green frog lights. But I feel like the fact that they just gave us 3 was a huge disappointment. That's why I don't like this. Now we're gonna have to get to 1.20, the Trails and Tails update. And you know, definitely the sniffer, because of how bad it is. Like, you can't even get that many good things from it. You get a simple torch flower, and unlike the name suggests, it does not emit any light. And then you get this other flower, which I don't remember what it does, but these dudes only give you dye, really. And the thing is, you can get dye from a ton of other sources that, you know, you don't even need. You don't even need dye that often. How often are you going to be using red dye? Unless you're making a ton of concrete or dyeing a ton of wool, then you don't really need red dye. But now we're going to have to get to the latest update, which released June 13th of this year, 2024, 1.21. And what I think is the worst part about this update is the mace. Simply because of the fact that it can do literally infinite damage. What I mean by infinite damage is literally infinite damage. The more you fall, the faster, like the more damage you do. So for instance, you can fall from world height, and if you successfully land an attack on a mob after you fall from that height, you don't take any damage on the ground. So if you have good aim and you hit something on the way down, you do infinite damage and all that. You can one-shot someone in fully maxed out armor. You can literally one-shot the Ender Dragon. I've seen it. But hey, you know, this is the end of the video. Congratulations if you made this far. Comment down potato. And you know, if I'm trying to get 10,000 by the end of the year, and I'm going to link a short in the description, and whatever the top comment is on that short, I'll be doing it. If it's really reasonable, of course, for 10,000 subscribers. And you know, for every video I upload until I hit 10,000 subscribers, I will be featuring 3 comments on every single one of my videos. Like I did in the beginning, 3 comments from the latest video of mine. But anyways, this is the end of the video. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye!